Food, cacao, it's actually used to make chocolate. So dark chocolate, obviously. All chocolates has some cacao in it, except for white chocolate. Cacao actually comes from a plant. When it's ripe, you cut it open. It's the seed, the bean, that actually is dried. And that turns into what is the core ingredient that goes into making chocolate. The flavanols, the polyphenols are in that bean. Studies have been done to show that the flavanols in cocoa stimulate stem cells to come out of your bone marrow, in your bloodstream, and they go out and they find wherever it needs to be repaired. If it's in your heart, they'll fix it. If it's in your liver, they'll fix it. If your skin, they'll fix it. Clinical studies have been done with high flavanol cocoa to show that in like men who are in their 60s with heart disease, they could actually just have 2 cups of dark chocolate hot cocoa a day for a month. And they doubled the amount of stem cells in their bloodstream, and their circulation improved measurably. And then it's even more important and impressive is that there was a study called the Cosmos study that was completed recently that showed that eating high flavanol cocoa decreases the risk of cardiovascular death. Like I said, exactly. Except maybe by eating the same thing that you use to make chocolate. So we're not telling people to go out to have chocolate, which is a confection. There's got a lot of sugar and all kinds of other stuff in it, but it's the stuff underlying it.
Then he pulled up a scientific, real flat Earth map from 1800. The guy was like, "What is flat Earth map?" He said, "The United Nations logo. They use it. They thrown it in our face. The map that we use is wrong. It's different. They changed it. This is the actual map, and you can look up in encyclopedias. You can go and check one out. The library. It's a map that was. It says like it's proven. It's a map, and it's scientifically proven. It's a fact that these are the maps that they use. It's a flat Earth map, and you have to fly over Alaska to get to LA. So
from Asia.
Yeah, but Alaska is right by. It's right by us. It's not far up. But by LA, it's not far. It's not more north than what we think. So like we've been lied to. So that is an emergency landing. Then I started looking to other emergency landings, and I started looking to like layovers and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Why they would fly all the way up here to change, then like the flat Earth map is totally different. Then once you kind of look into the flat Earth map, and then and when you fly across the world, and you know like the layouts and where to stop and stuff, then it kind of make sense. The flat Earth, and that's what took me over the edge was that the emergency.
Do yourself a favor and master the art of so that you do not continue to run back to the trauma home. Not every conversation deserves your breath, your time, or your energy, and not every silence is meant for you to break. When the frequency fades, don't chase the static. Change the station. Listen, when someone starts mishandling your worth, don't hand them more time hoping that they will figure it out. You're not a puzzle to be solved. You're a mirror. Either they will reflect respect, or they will distort it. And when the distortion becomes the norm, walk.
Scientists were studying earthquakes, but then stumbled across something wild. It was just an ocean under our ocean. Scientists found an ocean under our ocean. The crazy part about this, though, is that the ocean they found is 3 times bigger than our oceans that we have here on the surface. It's very likely that there's millions of species we're unaware of in this other ocean. They also believe they can be as large as dinosaur-sized species in that ocean, and that they may have already broken through into.
Well, it seems like today someone has finally made their way down the shafts that were found under the pyramids in Egypt. Doctor and archaeologist Ray is the first human being to make his way to the bottom of the shafts underneath the pyramid, and has reported back what he found in the chamber. As of today, allegedly, has made his way to the bottom, and what he found there was perfect blue like water, with the most beautiful blue colored water that he's ever seen in his life, with preserved humanoid body like creatures in the water, with, as he describes, the most crystal clear blue color in their eyes that he has ever seen. Because I've now read 10 different reports and seen multiple videos claiming the exact same thing. So this is going to shake up history and the truth of our world like nothing else. So let's have this conversation today, because I want to know if more people know about this. So
I'd like to talk to you today about some of the things that you can do with your virtual reality. We are actually co-creators of this reality, and we co-create in many ways. One is just the way we interpret things, and they have a different interpretation of what happens. That means everybody lives in their own personal another way to create your reality is by your future actions. If you are a user of people, hard to get along with, mean-spirited, then what you create is a world where people will try to avoid you, where you won't be liked, you won't be invited, and you create this reaction to yourself because of your choices, your actions. So that's another way you create your reality. And a third way you create your reality is the way that your intent modifies future probability. So what is likely to happen in the future? Your intent can make it more likely or less likely.
Right now.
You have that ability to modify all of this future probability called the placebo effect. If you tell somebody that they're taking a wonderful new medicine that will fix what's wrong with them, just by doing that and nothing else, just by telling them that and giving them a salt pill or a sugar pill or something that has no medicine in it whatsoever, will make a difference in their health. And many studies have looked at this. And if there's a control group in which you just didn't tell them anything, you just gave them a pill and said if that was the control group, then the people who have a very positive attitude, their health will be better than the control group. You see, it's called the placebo effect. You can look it up. It's a real effect. It's not just that those people who have the positive outlook think they're healthier and really aren't.
The scriptures openly declare that you are God operating in human form. 2,000 years of conventional religious interpretation have convinced billions otherwise. When Moses asked for the divine name, the answer was, I am. Exactly the same consciousness that you experience right now. Not symbolically, literally. Jesus stated, before Abraham was, I am, and I and the Father are one, revealing that you and the creative power of the universe are identical. The very scriptures they read every Sunday scream the truth. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You don't need a connection with God because you are the divine consciousness itself pretending to be limited. That constant fear of failure you cultivate, it's shaping your future right now. Do you accept the feeling of scarcity as normal? It's programming your bank account. You were trained from childhood to look for God outside, to pray to something external, to ask permission to exist fully. But you need to understand the exact mechanism by which your feelings become your reality, because most will die without ever discovering that they always had the power to create any life they desired.
This is the reason why you should never get out of the house if you're in bed late night. This woman heard strange sounds coming from outside and decided to come out to see what was happening. To her surprise, there was actually a strange man hiding on her porch that spooked the woman back inside the house. Would you have done the same thing?
The woman went from looking like this to looking like that. Her name is Daniela Gaviria, and she was known as the most beautiful traffic officer in Colombia. After a video filmed by a passing driver, she became famous across the country. People admired her face, her figure, and her grace. Many even went out specifically to the streets of Pereira, where she worked, just to see her. But at some point, she simply disappeared. When she returned sometime later, everyone was stunned. She was barely recognizable. Her skin was covered with patches, she had lost her hair, and her facial features had become harsher. Doctors diagnosed a rare autoimmune disease, scleroderma. It's a fairly serious illness that causes the skin to harden and thicken, and it can also affect internal organs. But recently, a Colombian clairvoyant told her something that makes the whole situation even creepier. At the San Camilo cemetery, he said he accidentally found signs of a dark ritual buried in the ground. And the scariest part was that among the items was a photo of Daniela. The man claims such rituals are meant to bring misfortune to another person, and a serious illness is one of the most common consequences. Based on all this, the clairvoyant said that someone most likely grew jealous of Daniela's popularity and beauty and poured all their negative energy into this ritual.
If you saw what happened yesterday with the Chinese and Russian submarines that are patrolling the Pacific Ocean. Today, Poland was attacked by Russian drones. Now NATO is getting involved to restrict airspace over Poland. What's even more concerning is UAPs are being reported over Russia and the US. There's actually a hearing going on right now trying to figure out how to handle these UFOs or UAPs. It's the last time that they tried to shoot one down over Russia. The missile deflected right off. So the whole world's getting ready. Something big's coming.
They're setting up the play. It's great deception. They are lying. 31 space that they're talking about, they are about to manipulate how everyone. Could they get away with that? They've been getting away with it, bro. Bro, how many people are privy to what really happened in 2020? Like, there's whole things going on in the courts regarding what happened in 2020, and it's all under the rug. It doesn't get any sort of mainstream publicity. No one cares about it. This right here, the Bible told us that because man did not receive a love for the truth, which is Jesus Christ and his gospel, that God gives them over to a strong delusion. The Bible says that 3 frog-like spirits come out of the mouth of the false prophet, the beast. And guys, I don't think you guys are really understanding how literal all this is. These frog-like spirits sounds like interdimensional beings, or what they would call aliens, extraterrestrials. Well, the Bible refers to them as interdimensionals. Old history refers to them as interdimensional. Get ready to be lied to. And so that when it happens, and when they are to open up your Bible and start reading it, and you need to grow in the faith of the Lord Jesus Christ. If you are not doing this, you are free game for this deception that's coming on the whole world. We can all see the play getting set up. It's getting like that. I remember in 2020, when they were talking about aliens, I was like, something
Please
about
tell
that
me
doesn't
that all
sound
of you
right.
have seen the video now of the alien that was captured on the Ring camera in California. Now, if you haven't seen this video, it's the clearest video we've gotten so far of an extraterrestrial just wandering around on Earth. Now, this video has actually gotten so much traction that it's made it to mainstream see you and point you in the direction that your government wants you to go in. Now, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you. But a Ring camera, a lady in California caught this on her Ring camera at 1 a.m. You can listen to the interaction back and forth with her and her child.
I was losing my mind. And I took the phone to my son, so I was like, can you check this for me? I was like, am I seeing things, or is this? And he's like, Mom, it's an alien.
In that interview, she says then her son was like, it's an alien, call the cops. She's like, I'm not going to call the cops, they'll think I'm crazy. But this was captured on film. Now check this angle. What do you think? Is this the first time you've seen this video? Because I will tell you this,
How about
more and more stuff is going to start showing up.
the drivers in the car?
We tried to tell you.
Scientists have just spotted with the James Webb Telescope this very large object moving through our solar system. Now, this thing is going at an incredible rate, faster than other objects that have moved through our solar system. Scientists think that this is something from an alien planet, and perhaps it is some sort of alien civilization making its way towards Earth. Now, this thing is roughly, I believe, 15 miles in width, or the size of Manhattan, and as it entered into our solar system, it turned, and it seems to be intelligent. And not only did scientists say that they think this is from an alien civilization, they said whatever it is could be hostile. Now, what's eerie about all of this is many years ago, I was downtown and I was at this nightclub. And as I was just sitting by myself, this woman approached me. I can't recall what she looked like or anything about her, except that she started talking to me about the future and all of these things that would happen. And she even told me stuff about myself that no one else could have known. But she went on to say that one of the things that was going to happen in the future was that extraterrestrials would come here to Earth, they would reveal themselves, and they would be hostile.
Demons.
So reading this and hearing about an object predicted to come here in November, potentially hostile, it makes me wonder, could this be some sort of extraterrestrial invasion?
Have you seen this super creepy clip going around? A guy posted it and said it was the scariest moment of his life. He was driving home late and stopped at a gas station to fill up and grab some breakfast stuff. He hops back in the car, about to pull out, when a woman walks right up to his door. He looks at her and freezes. It's his wife. But here's the thing. He knows his real wife is at home. Why would she be alone at a gas station in the middle of the night? The woman outside starts tapping on the window, asking him to let her in. He's this close to unlocking the door, but decides to call his wife first, just to be sure. She picks up and says she's literally at home right now. Meanwhile, her exact look-alike is staring at him through the glass. He says it was the most terrifying moment he's ever had. For a second, he thought he might be losing it. He pulls out his phone, records the woman for proof, then starts the car and gets out of there. When he gets home, he shows the video to his wife. She's stunned. The woman in the clip looks exactly like her.
When he hears it out loud, he trembles with rage and loses power over your life. A verse that for centuries has been hidden, silenced, and only a few brave souls dared to speak. Because when you say it, you break curses, you shatter invisible chains, and even the oldest demons flee in terror. Every time you repeat it, you declare that you are no longer controlled by fear or guilt, but by the blood of Christ, and that drives him mad, because it reminds him that he has been defeated forever. So if you want to see darkness retreat, whisper this verse 3 times, and watch how the atmosphere around you changes. The verse I'm talking about is Revelation 12:11, and it says, "And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony." The verse Satan hates so much that when he hears it out loud, He trembles with rage and loses power over your life.
What in the actual ritual?
Souls in pain.
What's wrong with his eyes?
At them concerts, right? There's a lot of energy being summoned. Is that not like one of the biggest energy extracting events that they have? Did that charge them as well?
Yes, this is why they play the music at an octave vibration, which is the devil's interval. They don't play the music at a love frequency like how Michael Jackson used to do. If you ever notice, now a lot of people don't cry. They, ramp up to, low vibrational music, just like when you had NBA Youngboy and you had the YNs going crazy. It's basically a reverse of frequency. It's a negative frequency. But during the time when you had Michael Jackson, everybody was in love. They was crying. Everybody was basically harmonizing together within the congregation when he was demonstrating his music or whatever. The frequency of love basically encompasses everything. And this is why the great majority of music right now is being compromised. It has to be compromised because the somatic vibrations contain a form of magnetism that is attached to the heart chakra. That is basically the mechanism on how you manifest. You can manifest through the electrical etheric frequency that's connected to the heart chakra in the music because it travels on 0-point energy fields. The music in itself is what cultivates a logistical emotion to where you're able to materialize. If you want to manifest something, you have to cry. You got to think about it so much to the point where you cry. The crying is the emotional energy to pull in the manifestation to the point where you believe it.
Jim Carrey, why are you saying this?
You know the original suspect that they arrested at the scene after Charlie Kirk was shot? This guy? Yeah, well, you obviously know that they let him go because they realized he didn't do it. Well, now they have re-arrested him. No joke. So his name is George Zinn. He's 71 years old, and we're now finding out from newly released police documents that he claimed he was the shooter to draw attention away from the real killer in hopes of becoming a, quote, martyr. He shouted twice at the scene, "I shot him, now shoot me." And after police detained him and asked him, "Where's the gun then?" he refused to tell them, obviously because he had no idea. Now, it was only when Zinn was later brought to hospital where he reportedly told officers that he was, quote, glad he claimed he shot Kirk so that the real suspect could get away. Now, it gets even stranger because while in hospital, he apparently didn't want investigators to look through his phone, and when they asked him why, he apparently straight up told them that's what he uses to look at child you-know-what material. Like, first of all, who just says that? And second of all, sure enough, according to the affidavit, when they looked, they found more than 20 images of child you-know-what, along with explicit messages about certain acts. Like, what is even going on? Now, Zinn has been arrested and charged numerous times over the past 30 years, mostly for apparently political trespassing in certain spaces, according to state records. And now he faces one count of obstructing justice, and he was booked in connection with those images on his phone. Weird.
The guy that got caught, George Zinn, check out the odds of this shit, bro. Okay? The guy that was immediately arrested after the shots were fired, and then he was the first suspect that they picked up.
Conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet. She says, Grok is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims, and Grok fact checks and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you, there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says, and it wouldn't give me an answer first, it said it's impossible to calculate. I said, use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all 3 major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. And we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Wow. All of that seemed normal to you.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
All you conspiracy theorists.
The chances are
Very
very...
a parasite cleanse, and if you don't see a worm, I will be shocked.
Do you have to like go fishing to find a worm?
It depends what you do. There's a lot of parasite cleanse you could buy in a market, like if you buy it at CVS or something. That's not thorough. I'm talking about deep, thorough parasite cleansing. 50% of the time, you'll have to see it in your stool with like a chopstick or something. The other 50% of the time, you'll be releasing what feels like you're going to the bathroom, like a number 2, but it's just mucus and worms and all different kinds of creatures when you do it thoroughly. So you can't even avoid it. You don't even have to dig in. You just see it right there, the top of the toilet.
I'm gonna assume the average person that does it's probably gonna get that experience.
It was just on Darren Olean's show yesterday. This dude is like the picture perfect health. He's 60 years old, 6-pack shredded, like super vibrant. His whole business is about health. And he just did the parasite cleanse and he saw tapeworms, 3-foot roundworms.
How's he feel now?
Amazing.